In a recent Instagram story, Devin Larratt has been seen poking the Italian gladiator Hermes Gasparini, indicating that his comments that he made on an Engin Terzi podcast were whining about apparently Devin cheating once again. He said, "It looks like I'm going to have to do this one again because the little birds are telling me that you are still whining about the loss." Of course, referring to the last time these guys faced in a super match where Devin Larratt won decisively over Hermes Gasparini. Now, this is, of course, a very interesting subject at the moment because there has been the announcement, the indication that all East vs West matches from here on in will be automatically to the ref script, which will, in a lot of people's opinions, negate some of the shenanigans that apparently Devin Larratt gets up to before the go. And so the question I wanted to focus on today is it true, is it actually valid that Devin Larratt is cheating, or is it true and valid that he is following the rules and that everyone else is just whining? It's an interesting subject because as an athlete, the ultimate responsibility is on the referees. You always can say that if it was more strict refereeing, no athlete would get away with it. You can't really blame the athlete for doing anything. I mean, if it's not called, it's not called. And then, of course, on the other side of the thing, you've got the spirit of the game, you've got the spirit of sportsmanship, all that sort of stuff. Do you do everything you need to do to win? Is it all about excellence or is it all about victory? A common debate, and tends to be, look, it tends to swing back and forth between athletes based on styles of arm wrestlers that they are. I relate to Devin Larratt. I relate to the idea of winning the match before it starts. I personally feel like in the majority of my matches, I know the outcome before the second ready go, at least, of a super match. You know what's going to happen. Even if it's close, you can feel via the setups, via the stress in someone's hand, via their access or limited amount of access to any given direction that they want to go. You can feel whether you're there or not. And if you're not there yet, the setup is an opportunity for you to do it. Now, Devin Larratt, if we look at the way that he manipulates the start of any match, it's undeniable that Devin Larratt's matches take longer than anybody else's. He is the common denominator in that factor, whether it's Gennady, whether it's Prudnik, whether it's Hermes Gasparini, whether it's, who else did he fight a lot with? Even John Brzenk and people like that. Devin will take longer to set up against all people than when those opponents go and face other competitors. So Devin is the common denominator there. So we do have to somewhat place the blame on him, even though in instances like his most recent match against Gennady Kvikvinia, I would say Gennady was the bigger offender of the two. And look, in that circumstance, the reason why Gennady was the bigger offender of the two is because he was losing. He could sense that he was losing. So he was trying to find a way back by playing the game that Devin plays even harder back at him. But usually Devin does take, until the match is like absolutely certain, you'll see Devin doing this. Now, when Devin knows that victory is secure, we'll see Devin start to behave and we'll see Devin start to say things like, just say go already, just start us and let's go. And he, against Gennady, a good example, will actually try to start the match as quickly and as efficiently as possible because he's already sensed in his hand that the match is done and that he's in a position where he just needs the match to unfold now. And it actually starts to become the opposite for him. But look, before the match is won, Devin is going to search. Devin is going to feel. Devin is going to extend his opponent. He is going to endeavor to make them uncomfortable in the setup, and he is going to do that as hard as he can without the referees actually enforcing fouls on him. Now, Devin is subtle. Devin is a master of this craft, of this wizardry, of this dark arts, whatever you want to call it. He is very good at not being seen as the bad guy, believe it or not. Yes, he is often seen as the bad guy, but he's very good at getting us, pushing the envelope as far as he can without actually copping the critical foul that loses him the match. I don't think there have been many rounds off the top of my head where Devin has actually lost the match or the round because of pushing too far with setup fouls. There would be one or two maybe, but he is very good at pushing the envelope far enough that he doesn't actually lose the round, and instead he achieves all of what he's looking for in his opponent, which is the psychological warfare. He achieves his intent in getting them to be physically fatigued somewhat in the match, and he ultimately ends up getting control and taking over from there. But Devin is someone who will masterfully, I will say, use that subtle art. It's so much that referees, I'm sure, go into the match when they're looking to control Devin and his opponent. They go into the match with the absolute intent of enforcing things strictly, of being clinical like a referee wants to be, and yet they find themselves once again struggling. Now, that's because Devin's words, Devin's manipulations of his own body position relative to the rules, his knowledge of the rules, his ability to articulate them to the referee, articulate the lack of his opponent obeying the rules to the referee. He is very good at explaining that case, and therefore putting the referees in a position where they can't call a decisive foul on him. So, back to the main question, is this cheating or is this masterful manipulation? Is this excellence? Is this just what's needed for victory? Look, at the end of the day, it's within the rules. Everything Devin does is within the rules. And I say that because the referees do not foul him. And when they foul him, sure, he's broken something, but he articulates it in a way where it puts doubt in their mind. So in the same sense, it's so obvious that Devin is pushing the envelope. He is pushing it in a way which I have to say I respect. And I have to say, I feel like I will endeavor to do the same in my matches. I don't pull out the shenanigans to the same degree that the Larratt family does, but I'm always looking for that advantage. And I will only really say go when I'm certain that I've got access to something. It may not be access to victory, but it will be access to at least my best defense, or access to a counterattack that I was intending on hitting. Whatever it is that I'm trying to access, I must have it before I go. So anyway, Hermes Gasparini complaining once again. Devin Larratt interestingly saying, I might have to soon demonstrate to you again that I can beat you. Fascinating stuff with the introduction of the referee's grip. It's going to change things potentially. Hermes Gasparini, he doesn't like being called number 3 in the world. But Devin stands between him and Levan. Even though Hermes may beat Levan when they face, you can guarantee if Hermes beats Levan, Devin will be the first person to come and take it off him, because he seemed to have him pretty much wrapped up last time they faced. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts on all that. It's an interesting subject. Devin, is he a cheater? Is he not a cheater? Hermes, is he whining too much? Should he just pull referee's grip into direction? Much to think about. See you guys.